everybody. This is your host, iamBrandon, and welcome to an episode that has a lucky number attached to it, which is 13. Welcome to episode 13 of House of LSD Radio. Today's guest is going to be taking us on a slightly different direction, but let's just say that I sense a little bit of techno in our very near future. But before we get into that, let's do some catching up. So just really quickly for this past month, our last episode, we had Madeline on, which was amazing. I have been traveling. I actually just got back from Dallas, Texas. I did a DJ set out in Dallas for the gaming convention, DreamHack, which was very different. If you don't know, I'm actually so weird to say, but I do gaming as a profession. So I was reached out to a couple months ago to come out and do a DJ set for DreamHack, which was amazing. The set was great. I was a little bit nervous because, you never know how people will feel about house music, especially if it's not out there like that for certain people. But the gamers really enjoyed it. And so I was really happy with it. The DreamHack people loved it. So it was a great time. And literally tomorrow I'll be going out to Detroit because I'll be playing at Spotlight in Detroit for the very first time and for Motor City Pride for their Pride weekend. So shout out to Detroit because I'll be finally playing in you. So if you're out in Detroit, please come out to Spotlight. And on Sunday, I'll be playing at Motor City Pride. And I'll just be in Detroit over the weekend. So I'm really excited because it's been a while since I've been out there. And I have so many great friends who I get to check out and see. So if you happen to be in the D, come on out and hang out with me. I didn't know that was going to rhyme, but we're going to go with it. And today we have a special guest in the studio. She's a classically trained musician who has graced the DJ booths across the city and across the world since the age of 17. Not only has she opened up for such artists as Nicole Mudeber, Gene Farris, and Hiroko Yamaura, but she's an award-winning producer with upcoming releases on Drumcode, Octopus, and many more. She's the undisputed queen of the Chicago Techno Underground. Please welcome to the studio our friend Blu9. We're putting in the claps here for Blu9. Well, the world knows you as Blu9, but we all know you as Michelle. So we're very happy to have you on the show. So how has your summer been so far?
Good. I'm off. I don't work in the summer. Well, I mean, I DJ, but I don't have my other work. I'm done.
Yeah. Getting to chill with us today, which is really cool on the show. But we're really excited to have you here because you're our first guest that's mainly been a techno DJ. But as anyone with dance music experience knows, house and techno kind of have, they go hand in hand. In fact, that's how you started as a house DJ in the first place. So can you tell us a little bit about your journey and how this all came to be?
I was a jerk when I was younger. Well, I'm still a jerk now, but not a jerk, but I was just kind of cocky and full of myself.
Mm-hmm.
I started when I was 16. I used to sneak it into all the clubs, to the gay clubs when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
And just so I can go dance. I wasn't doing anything else. I just wanted to go dance. And then my cousins were DJs in Chicago.
Yeah, I think you told me that.
The whole it's 5 a.m. Do you know where your children are? Kind of. That was my starting era. I'm going through. I used to go to Excel. I'm actually on the undercover video of Excel.
Oh, really?
From ABC News. I'm dancing on the speaker.
We're gonna have to put in a clip of that into the
you have
podcast.
To find it. It's really quick. Because the reason why is a friend actually such I'm like, yeah, I haven't changed much of my dance moves. Mm-hmm. But going through and that's how I met Val. Psycho Bitch and Terry Bristol.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of took me under and then went through a period and then I ended up having my daughter and then I stopped for a bit and I came back in my late 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to tell you how old I am now. But yeah, just going through. I started with house. I love house. I'm a slut for breakbeats.
Yes.
That's what I started off as because all my cousins at the time, and I don't know if it was just the era,
mm-hmm.
was the freestyle stuff. So anytime I hear some of the freestyle, like Diamond Girl and all that crap, I twitch because I'm just
mm-hmm.
No, try her for me. But yeah, I just have an appreciation for it. And then I got into more, well, here's the funny thing,
mm-hmm.
how I've seen how techno has evolved. And it was the old trance, and I loved the old trance, and it just got faster and faster, and it was like more hard house.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do the hard techno that's now like the 150, 160 BPM. I can't do it. My
Yeah,
brain just
intense.
can't comprehend it.
Mm-hmm.
But I sit in that 130, 140, and I just like that hypnotic, groovy kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's warmer like this, it's summertime, I will go play house and like that minimal, quirky kind of house. Cause it's just, I don't know. Sometimes like when I go with techno more is more in the wintertime. Like it's
Okay.
that melancholy kind of stuff, and mainly produce it. I go back and forth. I get bored with myself. So there's some times where I just want to play this, and I'll produce this for a little bit just to kind of give myself an ear break and then go back. But always love techno just because I wrote a letter because my ass wanted the Model 1 mixer, but I didn't want to pay for it. So I wrote a letter, and I stayed on the guy for months. And then all of a sudden, it was like right before a snowstorm. It showed up at my doorstep, and I'm like, oh my God, it worked. And I was the only one that had the Model 1 mixer. And Nicole Mudaber pushed it for me, and then I got the nice little note from their sound guys and Richie saying, "Here you go." I was like,
it worked.
I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have to return this. So nope, it's still here.
You still have it? You still have it?
You'll see it when I'm DJing.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
It's all here. And if you ever want to, it's a very unforgiving piece of equipment. Here's everything. So it's like you have to be on, and it's very smooth, but it's just it brings out so much in tracks that I didn't know existed. And there are tracks that I love that I'll play on that mixer where I'm like, oh, I don't know. Yeah. It doesn't sound right anymore.
So do you feel with like that equipment, it really has helped you kind of, I guess, develop a better ear for music in like the tracks that you play?
Yeah. And then like even my stuff that I produce, I mean, I play the violin for a long time since I was 7. So I knew music theory, and that's why production was very easy for me. Someone had mentioned that I had to submit my EPK for something, and I looked, I'm like, I have 72 releases.
That's a good problem to have, though.
I know. Wow. It's 2016, I think I had my first one. 2017. Oh, wow. I can't remember. COVID messed me up.
I know. It's like everything changed with everybody being inside all that stuff. But I was gonna say it's fair to say that oftentimes there's a big divide between hardcore fans of both genres of house and techno. There's big house heads who will turn their noses at people who like techno and vice versa. Like, what is your feeling on that, and how do you manage and navigate through that?
I don't know if it also is too, and it's just always like I still get it. And how long I've been a DJ, they're like, oh my God, it's a girl up there. I don't give a shit what I'm playing. That's why I part of me does hate. Like, I remember going, when I was younger, like you barely saw the DJ.
Yeah.
You knew they were there. If they were a friend or whatever, you go say hi, but that was it. You didn't really it wasn't like like how it is now.
Yeah.
But it's just opening up. And I think when you get those people like that are so stuck, and that's where the gatekeeping happens. And I hate it.
Yeah.
And it's like, we all get gate kept, and it's just like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, you have to change, you have to move, you have to grow. Like, you wonder why people get so upset, or they just give up, because it's like, oh, it's
yeah, it could be kind of frustrating sometimes. Yeah.
It is frustrating, but it's like appreciation. But you notice like some people just, if it wasn't for house, techno wouldn't exist. And there's parts of techno. I mean, techno started in Detroit.
Yeah.
Also started here. So it's like, we're crossing over all the time. And there are some ways some things are categorized, and it's like, you guys are still dancing. Is it making you dance? Okay, well then shut up.
Exactly. I say that all the time. That's my biggest thing. Like, as long as people are dancing, it doesn't matter what's going on in that instance. But you know what? You brought up a really good point that that conversation has been coming up again with the audience facing the DJ instead of the DJ is somewhere and just like playing the music and people are just on the dance floor. What are your feelings on that? Because I know it's for me I've been around both things, and I don't have like a opinion strong on it.
I like my space when I'm DJing. I get real paranoid with equipment I don't know if it's because I've been on all spectrums of behind the booth, whether it be helping, like DJ, and like somebody walks by with a drink, like I get like I love being on the same level of people in the crowd and things like that, but I like that barrier. And it's just like, I don't care if you're grooving or dancing, but don't be on top of me. And that's where sometimes where I'm like, I love boiler room style, but I also don't like it's, give the performer, breathe. I mean, we're trying to groove with you. Give us enough room to groove. You ain't gonna miss anything. I don't know what you're trying to look at. If you're trying to get a track selection, go. Okay, I'll tell you what the track is, but just like, And there's been a few times where I've seen people where they've been dancing or so close and they've hit the decks. So I don't know. It can go either way. Like, I don't know. It's just like, it just depends, I guess, on the environment and what I'm trying to do. So like, I love when people are dancing like behind me, but like, don't be so like on top of me.
Yeah. I think it's like it's a respect thing that some people do know, some people don't. I've witnessed people be like right next to the DJ, which I think is like terrible because like if you're going over back and forth, like you can't really do anything if someone's right there. And then when people are in the back, just like giving you that support in the back, that's always a good look, especially when a DJ's really grooving and there's people dancing in the background. I think that's always cool. So yeah, but I do like that does make sense, having that barrier between like the crowd and you, because it gives that space between both things and kind of creates that really great experience. So yeah.
I mean, it's just like sometimes you get the hands like over the glass part and you're just like, okay, hi. Like, oh, good. But it's also like, I'm short and I can't reach that far. Like, so it's like, I don't know. It just depends on the situation.
Which, it's like when you go into a set, you never know until like you get through it and you're like, you know what, that happened. So yeah. But dance music has been, long male dominated, and for better or for worse, DJs are often categorized by their gender. But there's no doubt in championing women DJs as well as queer, trans, and non-binary artists is very important. Do you feel that this kind of creates a kids tablet tokenism effect with bookings, especially with like festivals and such?
It didn't bother me, but it bothers me now when I see a lot of like, I had gotten on a couple promoters, especially in our city, about like all girl lineup. And it's like, why do you have to put that? Like, just, curate and program your night appropriately with the artist. It doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter who, who's playing, as long as it's like, it fits the, it fits the night. Like, I wouldn't book you, Brandon, for a hard techno night. Like,
definitely not, because I would not fit that.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and that's why I get on some of them too. And just like, also go to the shows that you want to play at. Don't go to a show that you're just like, well, they're not putting me on. Well, do you play that kind of music? It's also having a respect for the genres that we play. Like, I just, because of my experience, I can go between both, and you can put me somewhere and I will play. I look who's playing, who am I playing with, what kind of style they're playing. I've been on shows where there's been drum and bass DJs, and I'll get a little bit more breaky in my sets if that's going to happen. So I really get on that, and being part of it started off 23 by 23 with Sydney Blue. And then now it's changed to Change the Beat. It's basically pushing, like, we have remix contests on the label Radar that push that it's for people that DJs and producers around the world that identify as female or non-binary, and you could submit tracks to the big labels like Mousetrap, Nervous, Drumcode. Like, we have these opportunities, because a lot of the time, a lot of these artists, and myself included, like, it is male dominated. So it's like, we don't get that chance. It's a very bro-ish. Like, there are certain events where I do avoid, where I'm just like, it's too bro-ish for me, where it's like, it's not gonna end well.
Yeah.
But that's why I love being part of that and pushing other female artists to, get your art out there. Cause a lot of times they give up, because it's just like, well, or they get, it gets to be, I mean, if we get down to it, like, I've been harassed numerous times. I've been assaulted a couple times. I've been, it's just, you have to be, there's a lot going against us. And then, like, especially even in our community too, where it's like, you know, I got other male DJs that are like, oh, especially when I'm more so DJing in like River North.
Yeah, I believe
like,
that 100%.
Where it's like, oh no, Michelle, you know this, and I'm just like, dude, back off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want, you know, you can't use the excuse of like, you know, oh yeah, Michelle wouldn't do this. It's like, yeah, because why?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So it's our city, I think, is divided like that. There's only been a couple cities. Like for Montreal does a really nice job of bridging our community with the straights.
Yeah, I do agree with you on that. It is definitely that divide between like the two communities in that kind of way, for sure. 100%. I'm thinking about like, you know, I've just kind of started into the whole space. Like I've been around the nightlife space since I was like younger, but like actually like being involved with it, it is definitely like two different communities trying to come together, and it's hard to find, you know, people who, you know, you're willing to work with. I know for me it's just like sometimes like but yeah, I digress. But you know, like as we've been talking about your life, you know, you've been studying and playing music since you were 7 years old, as you said earlier. What did you see yourself doing at this age?
When I was a kid?
Yeah.
I actually wanted to be an art teacher and music teacher.
Oh really?
And then I love playing the violin. I just want to learn music, and I came from a family of musicians and performers. So it's just that how I set up my productions is just like an orchestra. So it's just, you know, like composing a piece. So it's always interesting in that regard. So like sometimes I'm better I don't know. I try to work with other DJs and producers, but it's hard because I have music theory and a lot of them don't. I know I come from that background, but like I don't know. I never saw myself as like a DJ when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to dance and play music. I mean, I danced. I was a dancer. I just never. It wasn't until I was like 16, and actually, I take that back. I was 8 years old, and I was watching my cousin train wreck his first DJ gig at our cousin's graduation party, and I was like, oh my god. Then I was like, I can do that better than he can. And he taught me.
That's a great memory.
I know. And I'm like, so it's just like, I mean, I wanted to do it. I like to play music. And I was just like, oh, I want to try that. I want to be able to do that. Like, so, because I always thought the decks and things like that were like instruments. They are, in a way. So it's just you're blending things together. Yeah, because my background, I mean, I'm first generation here Italian, so we had the whole gamut of music. We had the bad Euro trash music, as I like to call it, to like my mom used to listen to Motown and disco and all that.
Oh, so you just had like a variety of just like all kinds of music around you, which is perfect.
I had a cousin that was in a metal band, so we had heavy metal. We had my other cousin that was teaching me how to DJ, and then we had like the whole new wave, the Depeche Mode, and like all that stuff. Like it was just a whole, like bombarded constantly with music, which I'm fine by me. I mean, I worked at a music store in high school, so that was probably one of the. I have so much music. I have so much music in storage.
Well, you know, we've been talking about like, you know, your history with music, and so my next question is like, what artists have influenced you the most, and who are you currently listening to at the moment?
Someone that I now that I've become friends with her, it's even more. But I love Nicole Whatever. Just looking at her story and how she went through and like started off throwing her own parties and playing, and how she grew, because I remember when she was here before she was actually kind of big, and we had her at SSS like after hours, and she just played like in a small room. So her for sure. And now I'll be able to like text her if I need something, or email her, and then she's like, what do you need, you know, what do you want help with, and like stuff. So it's I love listening to her stuff. And I love the fact when she's just like, I listen to her radio shows where she's just like, yeah, people forget I play house too.
So they got to set a reminder out there.
I feel that in my soul where I'm like, yeah, people forget. I could also put you underneath the bus with that one too. So, which I can't wait to do for Queen. Wait 2 years.
That's what I was gonna bring up. Yeah, Michelle will be playing Queen, y'all. So, like for Pride. So be prepared.
Yeah.
You better get your tickets now because it will be
No
sold
problem.
out. Just saying. I was gonna ask, like, what do you have? I guess for like this particular set at Queen, do you have something that you want to do differently, or like what are like not give away everything, but like, do you have like a plan?
Well,
going
I
into
do
it?
have a plan. I mean,
Okay.
I do. I mean, I know there's some people that let's say like, oh, you can't really plan your sets. I do because I actually plan 3 or 4.
Yeah, I think that's
So I
important.
go through and see what the crowd is like at first. But
Mhm.
this one, I mean, I'm going to go to my house. I'm going to kind of go back to my older roots with some
Mhm.
of this stuff and just know the tricks that I normally do. Like I'm like, it's almost kind of like can almost thank I hate to say this, thank you, Eminem, because that's where I grew up in. And when I heard that song, I'm like, oh shit. Well,
Yeah.
if he's gonna do that. Well, you know what? Then I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do so like I'm gonna go back a little bit and it's gonna be but still keeping it like what I kind of do now. I'm gonna show my range, put it that way.
Okay, cool. Like, well, I think that's also super important because, like, like especially it's gonna be a whole Pride stuff going on at Queen, and then it's gonna be new people who have never heard you before. So I think that's gonna be dope that you're gonna be doing like stuff like different kinds of things put in people's ears. They're gonna be excited to dance to. I will be there, of course. I'm excited to hear the set. Of course.
Wait until you see the outfit.
Oh, okay. Oh, the outfit's okay. All right. Well, we've known each other for quite a few years, but it's been a pleasure digging in a little bit deeper to get to know you as an artist. And speaking of which, we're gonna talk about. Well, actually, not talk about. We're gonna walk into the techno side of you by getting into a set. So, are you ready to spin for the House of LSD?
Yes,
audience?
and the first track, just letting you know, is my track that it's come remixed for Metodi Histroff.
Mm-hmm.
I love him. For his label Set About. It's the remix for one of the tracks on his label, I Am Free.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm planning to start off with first.
Okay, cool. All right, well, let's dive in deep into Techno Rep with the Techno Rabbit Hole with Blu9 on the House of LSD Radio, and we're gonna get into the mix right now.
you gonna blame me if you want to just mine. If you will see what it don't mean. If you gonna hate me, your money on me. Go with it time. If you wanna find, if you gonna blame me if you want to just mine. If you will see what it don't mean. If you gonna hate me, your money on me. You're probably standing in the club right now. Your friends left and right, DJ's pumping. You're feeling the night. You're feeling good. You're high, and I guess you wanna dance more. Now the drop is about to come in 1, 2. Now go with it time. If you wanna find, if you gonna blame me, if you want to just mine. If you will see what it don't mean. If you gonna hate me, your money on me.
And you've been listening to Blu9 in the Mix on House of LSD Radio. I'm your host, iamBrandon. And I gotta say, Michelle, you never disappoint, so thank you for the incredible set. I know you're a busy working DJ, so where can listeners connect with you online to find out what's going on with you and your future gigs?
You can go on, I have my link tree, which is lintr.ee/Blu9, and has everything listed on there, as well as over on my Spotify. I have my calendar up, and keep it posted on my Instagram. Okay. And TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok. There you go.
And TikTok. Everywhere.
Everywhere.
On there. So I'm playing next week. I got me playing underground in Chicago called Surround Chicago. And then I'll be up in Madison next Saturday.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Thank you so much for being here. And everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. And that is a wrap on episode 13 of House of LSD Radio. We have a lot of amazing guests coming up in the next few months. So please make sure that you follow us on Instagram at House of LSD. That's spelled HAUSOF for the latest info. And we'll be back in a couple weeks with our next guest. Until then, we'll see you on the dance floor. House of LSD is a creation of Del Rey Productions. Executive produced by Daniel Perez. Produced and designed by Jeff Ramone. And additional design by Paulie Vaughns. Please follow us on Instagram at Del Rey Productions. Watch us on YouTube or listen to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Amazon, and everywhere where quality podcasts are found. Don't forget to rate and subscribe on all platforms. We really appreciate your support. We'll be back next week with another exciting guest and more banging tunes.